I go home and I pray twice that he doesn't make it. I don't do that. Years old as Homo sapiens. We've been around as hominids for a few million years, and of course, along with every other life form that exists at the moment, we've been evolving for 3.5 billion years. Everything that exists at the moment all came from the same little blob of organic matter 3.5 billion years ago. That's why it annoys me when people say, oh yeah, humans, we're the most evolved. We're not the most evolved. We're no more evolved than the slug or the snail. People go, oh, come on, look at them. Yeah, they got it right early doors. Nature keeps testing them. Do you want eyes? No. Not really. No. I have noticed one thing about the slug and the snail. Let's not split hairs, let's be honest. The snail is basically a slug with a shell on it, isn't it, right? But if you pull the shell off the snail, it starts giving it all, oh, I'm dying. And the slug is like, welcome to the real world. 35, 40, if you're lucky. You're born, you grow, you mate, you're playing with your kids, you get a cut, you go, oh, what's that, dead? Right? But now with antibiotics and medicine, we've pushed that forward. A child born today can expect to live to about 100. And scientists said soon that'll be 120. And science also said that in the near future, there's no reason with proper care and attention that human beings won't regularly live to 150 years old, which is amazing until you remember that we get a set number of brain cells, right? Which we only lose. You can't get them back. So in the future, there's going to be 15 billion people on the planet, you know. Half of them are going to be over 100, and they're all going to have Alzheimer's. It's going to be like Dawn of the Dead. It's going to be fucking horrible. You know? My auntie died of Alzheimer's. I don't know how you die of Alzheimer's. She forgot to live. Right? And for the last couple of years, she was in her home, and my cousin, her only kid, used to visit her like once a week, and it got more and more depressing because soon she didn't recognise him, and then she didn't know who she was, or you know, and then she died. And at the funeral, we were sort of reminiscing about the good days, about some of the funny, absent-minded things she said and did, and we realised, oh, probably that was the beginning of the disease before it was diagnosed. And this is a true story. Once, my cousin went home from work, and he went in, and she went, your tea's in the oven, I've had mine already. He went, oh, cheers, Mum. And it was like a fish pie, right? He ate the fish pie, and he went, oh, God. And he ran upstairs, vomited, went back down and went, Mum, the fish is off, I've just been really sick. And she said, yeah, it made me really sick. Not your grandparents. They grew up dodging bombs and their firstborn having polio and the menfolk dying at 50 of lung disease. They could take a fucking joke, right? It was all about the wind-up. I used to wind up my mum all the time. This is a true story. When I went off to university, after about a week, I phoned home. My mum answered. She went, hello? I went, it's Ricky. She went, you all right? I went, not really. I'm in hospital. I think I'm blind. She went, what? I went, no, I'm only joking. Right? She went, you silly bugger. She went, I could have had a heart attack, right? And she's right, she could have had a heart attack. And I knew that. That's how committed I am to having a laugh. Gervais, duh. Yeah. And they're sad that their baby's got AIDS, but they're sort of laughing along. Armageddon, And it gets to that bit, baby's got AIDS. And she goes, oh my God, Jeff, why are they all laughing at us and our baby with AIDS? And Jeff goes, well, they're not laughing at us per se. She goes, well, they are. They've named us and everything. They're literally laughing at us in this bit. And Jeff goes, yeah, but we're a fictional couple with a fictional baby with AIDS. Anyone offended by that is a fucking moron. And then he goes, and at least he didn't do the accent. So... And then she goes, yeah, but only because Jane begged him not to. Particularly working class kids, particularly from working class mums, because they're busy, they're doing everything. They're keeping men in check, they're bringing up kids, they're going to work, they're saving the world. They haven't got time. They have to frighten their kids into behaving well. They have to go to dark places to shock them into not fucking dying. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if I was little and my mum made my tea, and it wasn't my favourite, it was boiled potatoes instead of chips every day. And I went, I don't like them. My mum would go straight to course you do. There's children your age in Africa and they're starving to death, right? And I go, Jesus, all right. You know what I mean? The true story, I was 7 years old, right? And I'd been playing in the park and I came running in and my mum went, Ricky, come here, sit down. There must have been a local pedo incident, right? And my mum went, never go in the toilets in the park again. And I went, why? She knew she couldn't explain paedophilia to a 7-year-old, right? But this is what she came up with. She said, because there's a man going round and he's cutting little boys' willies off. I was like, oh, what? That's a fucking thing, is it? I didn't sleep for a week. And it worked. I never went in those fucking toilets again. But she knew instinctively. If she'd have gone, Ricky, come in, sit down. What's the matter? Never go in the toilets again. Why not? There's a paedophile. What's a paedophile? Oh, he's a man who gives you sweets and puppies. Bring it on, you know what I mean? At 7 years old, I'd wank off anyone for a puppy. I'd be like that, wouldn't it? Be like that. Gonna get a puppy here. I'm getting a puppy. Gonna get a puppy here. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I cannot do it left-handed at all. Fucking hell, come on. Have you been drinking? Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. Fucking hell. Oh. I've started, so I'll finish. Oh, fuck me. Oh, what sort of puppy is it? A what? A Labrador? Throw in a kitten, I'll give you a blowjob. I'll go over that. Kitten, puppy, come. Evidence of people murdered in the Holocaust, and he films them coming into a Jewish cemetery, and they each leave a stone on the grave to represent their family members that were murdered, and it builds up and it's very moving. And so I think I get the ambiguity. Does it have a sad ending? Yes, in the sense that 6 million Jews pointlessly lost their life, but no, in the sense there was still enough left over to build a little rockery. So I asked one question myself on this. Is James Corden in it? I did look at one other film briefly, Titanic, right? And it's got all the same sort of questions. And the one where it goes, are any animals harmed? Someone answers, there were no explicit scenes of animals being harmed, but Rose did have a goldfish, which probably didn't make it. I think the goldfish in the bowl on the sideboard when the boat hits the iceberg, and he's all like that, right? And people are running around going, we're going in the water. And he's all smug then, and he's going, don't worry about it. Oh no, not water. Oh. Then he gets in the sea and he goes, it's very salty, isn't it? It's very salty. Barn. And the mother's suspicious, right? And she goes, is it Old Yeller all right? Yeah, he's fine. But the kid knows that he's been bitten, right? And soon, Old Yeller starts foaming at the mouth and, getting aggressive. And the mother turns up with a gun. And the kid goes, no. And she goes, you know we've got to do it, boy. He goes, yeah, but he's my dog. I'll do it. And he shoots his own dog. And I was like in floods for like a year, right? Anyway, fast forward. Right, a few years ago, I was on tour, I was on a train, and I get a text from Jane, and she says, I'm finally watching Old Yeller. And I sent back, enjoy, right? I didn't think, right? 20 minutes later, I get a text, nothing happens to that dog, does it? I couldn't believe my fucking luck. I thought she knew, so I sent back, no, of course not. 1 hour later, I get a text, you cunt. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks to everyone who bought a ticket. If you bought a platinum ticket, the money goes to an animal charity, and you've raised $2 million so far, so thank you so much. I even get a bit of stick about that on social media. There's always someone who goes, oh, why do you only speak up for animals? And I go, well, because they haven't got a voice of their own except parrots. And I think that's why we don't eat parrots. Everyone around the world eats every other type of bird, don't they? Everyone in the world eats fucking chickens and ducks and geese and turkeys and ostriches. No one eats parrots. Do you know why? If you go and try and eat a parrot, it goes, fuck off, you cunt. So speaking up really does work, right? And that has sort of been one of the themes of the show, because I know in the real world, in normal jobs, everyday life, you get in trouble. People tell you off for saying certain things or thinking certain things or even laughing at certain things, right? They say you're bad for laughing at that. And some of you take it to heart. You go, oh my God, am I a bad person? No, you're not. One, you can't choose your sense of humour. You can't, it's involuntary. And two, that's exactly what humour is for, to laugh at bad shit, to get us through it, right? And... And we've established you can't even choose your own thoughts. How often have you been on a train station and you suddenly thought, what if I just pushed that bloke? And then you go, why have I thought that? Am I a psychopath? No, you're not. You're the opposite. You're a safe pair of hands. You're testing yourself. You're reminding yourself how terrible that would be. You're a good person, right? I don't get that one. What I get is I'm talking to a really sweet old lady and I suddenly start thinking, what if I just spat in her face now? Why would I? Another theme of the show has been words change and I'm woke, haha. But here's the irony. I think I am woke, but I think that word has changed. I think if woke still means what it used to mean, that you're aware of your own privilege, you try and maximise equality, minimise oppression, be anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobic. Yes, I'm definitely woke. If woke now means being a puritanical, authoritarian bully who gets people fired for an honest opinion or even a fact, then no, I'm not woke. Fuck that. But here's the deal. To each their own, laugh at whatever you find funny. All laughter's good and you're amazing. Good night. Show so far. So I want to talk about something I haven't talked about before, and that's to give you a glimpse behind the curtain of the Golden Globes. Right? And thank you. I last hosted the Golden Globes in 2020. It was the 5th time over a 10-year period, and I liked them more and more, and the last one was my favourite, because the world changed in that 10 years. You know, like the first time I hosted them in like 2010, the press of America, they hated me. Right? Who is this annoying Brit insulting the most important people on the planet? By the last time I hosted, they were like, yeah, go on, fuck them. Fuck them, right? Because ordinary people had got sick and tired of being lectured by these multi-millionaire, nothing wrong with that, these liberal elite entertainers telling them how to vote and how to recycle, when everyone knew they were getting free jet rides to Pedo Island. So it really hit the zeitgeist. But it was always the same deal. Whenever they said, do you want to host? I said, yeah, I'll host. I said, but I'm going to write all my own jokes, which is unheard of, apparently. I said, I'm going to write all my own jokes, and I'm not going to rehearse, so you can't hear the jokes beforehand, you can't cancel any. And they let me do that. I did have to show a lawyer the jokes about an hour before to make sure I hadn't broken any laws, and I never had, because I know the law. Sometimes the lawyer would go, are you sure you want to say that? Right? And I go, is it legal? They go, yep, technically. I go, let's do it. Right? I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes. That says something about them, to be fair, right? So, anyway, thank you. This last time, they said, oh, you've got to see the lawyer the day before now. I went, okay, great. So I was driven to the Beverly Hills Centre, and they're all setting up, right? And the photos of the A-listers are all in their chairs. I go, oh, there's Brad, there's Liz. And they went, good. I went, oh, great. I went, yeah. And then the head lawyer, he was about 60 years old, he had like white hair. He went, oh, yes, there was one thing. Now, I did this joke, I don't know if you remember. It went, the world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And it goes on, at one point I go, but Dame Judi Dench said it was the role she was born to play because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her back leg and licking her own minge. Right? So this lawyer went, he said, this is all true, by the way. He went, when you say James Corden is a fat pussy, that's just referring to his role in Cats, right? I went, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Nah. And he went, okay, great. I thought, this is easy. I wanted to go, call yourself a lawyer, right? And that was it. And I went, have a great show. And I left. And as I was leaving, I saw one of the other lawyers lean in and show this head lawyer his iPhone. And the head lawyer went, oh, yeah. He went, oh, sorry, Ricky, can you come back a minute? Right, so I'm there. I went, yeah. So he had the phone there. They'd looked up the word minge. I thought I'd gotten away with it, right? So it's now like I'm getting told off. And the head lawyer said, now it says here that the word minge is a derogatory term for female genitalia. I went, well, yeah, it's a slang word for vagina in England. You don't even use it here, do you? He went, no, we don't, but we go around the world, and with due diligence, now we know it's derogatory, we'll have to bleep that word live. I went, don't bleep the word, like, because people at home won't know what I've said. It'll ruin the... I said, it's literally the punchline. He said, if it's derogatory, I have to... I said, well, what word could I use that you wouldn't bleep? And he went, well, you could say vagina. I went, I'm not saying vagina, right? Nothing funny about it. It's so clinical. I was thinking, Judi Dench at home going, why is he talking about my actual vagina, right? I said, minge isn't like that. It's like, it's not so specific, because vagina's so... Where's your vagina? There, right? Where's your minge? There. It's like... Then one of the younger lawyers went, what about box? I went, I'm not fucking saying box, mate, right? So much for licking your own box. Right? I said, minge is perfect. I said, people won't know what... If they're American, they won't know what... I said, it's not offensive. It's like... I said, kids use the word in England. Right? They weren't having it. So I said, what about flange? Right? So they looked up the word flange, right? And he went, well, that'd just be confusing, because in America, a flange is a part of a sink unit. I went, oh, well, I said, please let me say minge and don't bleep it. I was really rooting for minge. Right? It was like 12 Angry Men. I go, no one's leaving till I can say minge. Right? And after about 10 minutes, I wore them down. Whatever, said, that won't work. So I was going, please. I said, I'll write them. You won't get any complaints and all this sort of... And eventually, the head lawyer went, okay, you can say minge. I went, and you won't bleep it? He went, no, we won't bleep it. I went, you promise? He went, yes. And I left. I knew they would. And they fucking did, right? So, when I said minge, I pointed. The most frequently asked question I get about the Golden Globes is always, was someone so angry about what you said about them? They came up to you afterwards and want to throw, and I always go, oh God, no. I wouldn't even say if that had happened, because I don't like gossip, to be honest, right? There was one guy I thought took it the wrong way, right? It wasn't the cameras went to him, and I'm not in control of the cameras, so I think he was caught in the headlights. It was Elton John, right? But it wasn't a bad joke. I was introducing Madonna, okay? And I later found out that him and Madonna were in this feud, and he hated being mentioned in the same sentence as it. But I didn't know at the time. I was confused, right? And it wasn't part of the monologue, but I'm there for like 3 hours, right? And now and again, the stage manager put a head around the door and go, do you want to introduce so-and-so? And I'll go, yeah, fine. And I'll come out and I either do it straight or I ad-lib. And this was little ad-lib because I saw Elton in the front row, right? So this was the joke. I came out and I said, our next presenter is the Queen of Pop. Not you, Elton. Sit down, right? And he sort of went to him, he sort of went, and I was like, oh, fuck, he hated that. And I was thinking, why is he, I was like, oh, God, do you think I'm homophobic? Oh, I'm not homophobic. There's always in my head. Then I thought, he must have heard worse, right? In the 1980s, right, when Elton John was in the closet. He wasn't out. He was married to a woman, right? He was also chairman of Watford Football Club. And he and his then wife would go along and watch Watford play, and the entire crowd would sing, "Don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse." Which puts my little quip into perspective, doesn't it? I don't know how football fans know how to start at the right time in the same key. Do they hand out sheet music before we're doing Willy Up the Arse in C? Jeff's doing a solo. It's like, and what they usually do, they get a traditional tune so everyone knows it, and they change the lyrics. Some genius changes the lyrics, right, to be as offensive about someone or something or somewhere or whatever, right? So the tune they used to use, I remember it, it was that old Cockney knees up song. My old man said, follow the van and don't dilly-dally on the way. Do you know that one? Remember the term dilly-dally? They use it very creatively in their version, right? So this was their lyric. It was the 80s. It's not politically correct. I apologise. But they're football hooligans. What are you going to do, right? So let's analyse their genius lyrics, right? This is what they used to sing. Don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. I mean, you might. Not necessarily his, but, you know, like mathematicians amongst you would have to go, yeah, there's a slight... Like, if 1,000 people bent down when Elton was around, one of them might randomly... Someone might come off a bicycle and go, sorry, like that, and they oh, fuck, and the scientists will go, one. Do you know what I mean? There's a slight... Also, when Elton's around, that's ambiguous. That could fit... Like, you could have two gentlemen having anal sex in a hotel room, right? And then the next day they find out that Elton John was staying in the next room. They go, oh, I got a willy up the arse when Elton was around, you know? I'll give them that. Anyway. Don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. He has the nerve to call us dear. We all know he's a fucking quill. Sorry, right? And he goes... He dallies and dillies. They've reversed it. Why? He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. Again, I don't know what play with means in this context. It could be like, wow. It could be anything, couldn't it? I thought you were going to suck it. No. He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. He's up every arse in town. I'd stop him there. I'd go, no, you know, that is provably false. He's not up every arse in town, is he? We can prove that. Right, take a small town. Take Watford. 120,000 people. He is not up 120,000 arses, is it? I mean, half of them are women, so 60,000 tops, right? And I don't think he's been up 60,000. And if he has, good luck to him, but that's not my point. This is my point, right? What did his then wife think of that? Because he's in the closet, right? He's, you know, and she's just married Elton John the pop. She couldn't be, she's in love. She's so proud of him. Elton John, and he's chairman of Watford. She goes, look, I married Elton John the pop star. I'm married to Elton John the pop star. And then the entire crowd sing, don't bend down when Elton's around or you might get a willy up your arse. She must have gone, why are they singing that, Elton? And he goes, I don't fucking know, watch the game. You know what I mean? It must have been awkward. Well, that's nearly it for me, but I've just, I said earlier, I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes, and that is absolutely true, but I've just remembered a joke that I stopped myself, because I bottled it a bit, and I think I was being overcautious. I want to share it with you, right? So, I got the chance to introduce Jason Momoa. Do you know who Jason Momoa is? Yeah, right? So I thought the meta joke would be to show my hypocrisy and my cowardice. Like, I'm okay to slag off actors, who's scared of actors, but when it comes to a big dude, right, I'm not so brave. So I was going to go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter, because he's got a cock like a baby's arm, right? And I told my mate I was going to do that, and my mate went, do you think people think that's racist? I went, why is it racist? He went, well, because he's a person of colour, and I went, no, but it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that he's so big that he'd probably have a cock like a baby's arm, right? So I didn't do it. And I had a great follow-up as well. I'll tell you the whole thing. This is the whole thing. This is what I was going to do, right? Right. So I go out and go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter because he's got a cock like a baby's arm. Unlike Peter Dinklage, who's got an arm like a baby's cock. I reckon it's the next 10 years that I will. But as of now, my arsehole has never let me down. Very underrated, the human arsehole. Everyone goes, oh, the human brain, the greatest computer known to man. All the human liver can regenerate itself. Your arsehole is working 24/7. Even when you're asleep, it's like that. You're not coming out. You're not coming out. You're not coming out. Nope. You're not coming out. And you're not coming in. Because it's like a sewer in there, isn't it? But you've got a lovely little manhole cover. Think of that in real life. Walking along a pavement, there's lovely pavement. If that burst, and you know what's in a sewer, don't you? Piss and shit and cum and dead goldfish and fetuses. In China, just the girl ones. Relax. I'm at that age now as well, because I'm in entertainment. People say, oh, you can have a facelift. I go, no. Have you seen facelifts? They're still just that. Like that. You know what I mean? You go to the doctor, and the doctor goes, do you want to look old or Chinese? You know, it's like, nothing wrong with looking Chinese if you're Chinese. If you're not Chinese, it's a bit weird. It's offensive. Why is that allowed? You're not allowed to black up. Why can you do that? Maybe there are terms and conditions to make sure you're never that racist. Like the doctor goes, right, we've done the eyes, but never leave the house in a little lampshade, because... Oh, so childish. It's so childish. But I hope you agree it was a positive show. It wasn't about death, it was about life. And some people are so worried about dying, they forget to live. And some people are so scared to do something. Oh, no, that's dangerous, that's dangerous. All the most fun things are dangerous. Roads are dangerous. Alcohol is dangerous. Alcohol is a poison. I should know. I sell it. Dutch barn. Right? So, yes. Right. Alcohol gives you brain disease, liver disease, kidney disease, heart disease, mental illness, but it does loosen you up at parties. So... think of all the babies born through alcohol, yeah. Many of them deformed if the mother carried on drinking. But the good thing about being born deformed is, you... Hear me out. The good thing about being born deformed is you can start drinking at a much younger age and no one gives you... Do you know what I mean? You see a normal kid drinking, you go, you little bastard. You see a deformed kid drinking, you go, yeah, go on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. You're 8 or 9, you've had 27 painful operations, you've met Ollie Murs, have a drink, you know. Well, as you can see, I run out of quality.